Hi everybody, Frank with Golden Coast Mead, and I'm here to talk with you today about regenerative honey and soil health. So why does soil health matter when it comes to regenerative honey, and what are some ways that we might measure it? So soil health is really fascinating. It's the ability of soil to retain carbon, retain water, and then host a whole ecosystem of microorganisms that work with plants to unlock nutrition in the soil for the plants to thrive and enable the increase of that ecosystem's ability to support life. So soil is the building block of any agricultural system, and if we ignore the health of soil, then over time that soil health is going to degrade, and eventually that land won't be able to produce food. There's a lot of studies about how armies can conquer a place, but if you want to destroy it, send in the farmers. If we send in farmers, though, who are paying attention to soil health, and beekeepers who are working with farmers who are paying attention to soil health, or beekeepers who are working with any kind of landowner that's paying attention to soil health, we hope that there's an economic incentive that's going to be realized, because the beekeepers are going to be able to produce better honey when their bees are on regeneratively managed lands with healthy soils. And then they're going to be able to charge higher premiums for regeneratively validated honey that's good for the bees, the beekeepers, and the land. And then they'll be able to share rents with those landowners to encourage and expand those practices that improve that soil health. So how might we measure soil health? Well, there's a few different ways. Matt Powers talks about it a lot in his courses online. And he's working with Dr. Elaine Ingham, who's all about soil health. And we have some friends at Perennial Pastures, Kevin Munoz, who's doing soil health on a large scale with beef, and Pasture Bird, which is doing soil health on a large scale with chickens. So there are people out there who really focus on soil health, but my understanding is that you can measure soil health by looking at a soil sample and seeing what the composition of that soil is, and if there is organic matter, and if there is a diversity of microorganisms, if there's a presence of fungus and nematodes, and then what the overall nutrition and water retention capacity of that soil is. So if we can measure these things and start a baseline, we can see how regenerative agricultural practices and regenerative beekeeping can increase that soil's health, and therefore validate that this honey is a part of that whole ecosystem and building a more regenerative world. If you want to learn more about this, you should check out our podcast, which will be released on Spotify and Apple, iTunes, and Amazon podcasts very soon. Check below for more.